coming up next here on FS1. Let's head over check-in with Colin Cowherd today. Hey, Colin, what is on the show?
I check in this morning. Zeke hasn't showed up to camp. My bad, TM Zeke. And everybody's telling me it's a no-brainer. You got to sign Zeke, and Dak's the one you can't pay. I completely disagree with that. I would pay Dak this morning over Zeke, and I'll tell you why. It's a theory of mine on life in general. That's coming up.
All right, Colin, thank you. Time for our final topic of the day. Mike Tomlin is staying in Pittsburgh a little bit longer. Yesterday, he signed a one-year contract extension through 2021. Tomlin has never had a losing season, but they missed the playoffs last year. So, Shannon, what does this contract extension tell you?
Well, it fits what the Steelers do. They love consistency. They hadn't fired a head coach since 1969 when Chuck Noll took over. They normally let the head coach... He walks out on his own terms. They let Coach Noll did it. They let Coach Cowherd do it. And it lines up with Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger signed through the 2021 season, and maybe they have to go through a rebuild, and they ask Coach Tomlin, do you want to be a part of this rebuild? If not, we gladly let you go elsewhere, or we'll see. But I'm not surprised with this at all, Skip Bayless. This seems to be what the Rooney family does. And Coach Tomlin will have less gray hair because he doesn't have to deal with AB and Le'Veon.
That is true. Would you believe this is Mike Tomlin's 13th season as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers? I lost track of that.
Wow.
But the Rooney family, to your point, is very comfortable with having him as their head coach.
Yep.
I have been disappointed in Mike, who's by trade a defensive football coach.
Right.
That defense the last 2 years has not been up to Pittsburgh standards. It better be this year, but the shock to me about this was I thought they'd extend him for 3 more years because that's usually what they do. And
Well,
so
he already
maybe
has 2 years left, Skip.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They just do lifetime things with their coach.
Well, I just think the thing is that they love consistency, and the coach normally is like, okay, I'm done. Coach Noll says, okay, I've had enough. Coach Cowherd says, I've had enough. And that's probably what Mike Tomlin's going to end up doing, saying, I had enough.
Big season for him. All right, that is it for us. We'll be back Monday morning at 9:30 Eastern. Right now, Colin tells you why the Cowboys have no choice with Ezekiel Elliott. The herd starts right now.
That this league has to offer. The stats back that up. So much that I think he makes Dak better, maybe not the other way around. But listen, Zeke is the best running back in the NFL. There's no question who the offense flows through. And so, to me, I thought he should have maybe waited 1 more year, maybe had a season of production, an off season of no issues, and then go to the table. And then he would maybe have more negotiating power then. But right now, he has 2 years left on his contract. The Cowboys can lock him up for 7 years if they want to, right? The 5th-year option plus 2 years of franchise tags. Or they could just trade him if they wanted to because he just turned 24 years old. His trade value will never be higher than what it is right now. And you know there has to be one team out there that feels like they're one running back away from a Super Bowl. Maybe a team like the Houston Texans, right? So to me, if there was a running back that could challenge this far out with this many years left on the contract, it's Zeke.
Did you ever hold out?
I never held out.
Did you ever think about holding out? Did you ever discuss it with your representative?
Yeah, I definitely discussed it and talked about it, especially my last year in New Orleans where they wanted to cut me and you know, they wanted me to take a significant pay cut. So I definitely thought about holding out, but ultimately we ended up with the trade to Miami.
Okay, so why didn't you in the end hold out? It just the trade came before you could get to
the trade came before, and because of the nature of that situation. In New Orleans, I felt like I was never going to get that shot to be the every down back that I wanted to prove that I could be because, as you know, in Coach Payton's offense, they use a multitude of backs, right? They use a number of running backs. So for me, I felt like, well, taking a pay cut and not getting the same amount of opportunity didn't make sense.
And Miami did not cut your pay?
No. And Miami, and they made me an every down running back.
Okay.
And I balled, too.
Okay. All right.
For me, I disagree. I believe Zeke has led the league in rushing twice in his first 3 years. He got suspended for 6 games in year 2, and he averaged more yards per game than any of those backs. So that tells me if he plays all 16, he leads the league again. So 3 years of leading the league in rushing. He plays the most physically demanding position in all of football, which is the running back position. He understands. He's seen what they've done. They did it to DeMarco Murray. They ran him into the ground. See, what they're trying to do, and Zeke knows this, and you touched on this, Reggie, they can lock him up for 7 years, Skip. This is his 4th year. They pick up his 5th-year option. 2 years of the franchise tag. So in other words, you squeeze all the juice out the lemon, and then what do? If you don't like lip, you throw it in the trash. And Zeke's like, no. If y'all gonna give me 300, because he's a bell cow back, meaning he's gonna get 300+ carries every single year. He's probably gonna be around 350 touches every single year because he can also catch the ball now. So you tack on 310, 315 carries, another 55, 60, 70 catches a season. He's around 400 touches. You only got so many of those seasons in you. You only have so many of those in you. So he knows, nah. And I agree with you. The only leverage that a player has in football is the possibility of holding out. And you have to be willing to go the distance, Skip. And that's normally when you're going to hold out, you've already thought about it a year before. Because you got all your ducks aligned. You dotted all your I's, you crossed all your T's. And you know, if you're married, you say, look here, we ain't spending anything excess. We're not getting any modifications to the house. We're not buying a new car. We're not going on vacation. We're saving everything because there's a chance this might go into the season. Go into the season, Skip, you know, you get paid by the game. You ain't playing games, you get no check. But money's still going out because you got a mortgage, you got car note, got kids in private school, yada, yada, yada.
That's what the league is banking on.
They're
banking on that.
And don't think the Cowboys don't know Zeke's spending habit. Because I know for a fact, they're looking at it, you got this, and this going out. Look at your little bank account, you know, Big Jerry, you know, all the big banks, they want to do business with Jerry. What old Zeke got in the account? So they know, but Zeke is doing it right. Now is the time because guess what, Skip? You say they're going to the Super Bowl. Well, in order for them to go to the Super Bowl, Zeke's going to probably have to have somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 rush yards, and it's going to take somewhere between 325 and 400 carries in order for him to get that.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Got Amari Cooper now. Things changed. His team went 7-1 down the stretch last year after Amari joined. And as much as I love and respect my man Reggie Bush, he stepped in it to start this segment off because you're a running back by trade, and you have lost perspective on just how valuable Dak Prescott is to this team. This is the bell cow, is number 4.
What did the exec say? You know, Mark Sanders, what did they say? What did the exec say?
What was the first quote he used? I'm going to have to paraphrase it, but the anonymous exec said, you know what? Dak could be a 1. He may just be having a year this year where he's going to make you say, wait a second, he should be in the number 1 tier.
But what about the guys that were tier 1s? They say they are tier 1s. They ain't no could be. They are.
The most underestimated, underappreciated quarterback in all of football is the leader of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. He set the all-time record for quarterback completion percentage in his first 3 years of any quarterback in their first 3 years in the league. And he led this whole league over the last 3 years in game-winning drives. He torched the division rival Eagles twice last year. No, he brought him back. All the biggest plays made over the last 3 years were by the quarterback with his arm and occasionally with his legs. So the point is, he's more valuable just given the position he plays than 21 is.
See, that's where you flaw. See, that's your flawed thinking. You think just because he's the quarterback, he's more valuable. No, Skip. They built this team around his ability to run the football. And you talk about when Lamar showed up. Reggie, if you average 102 yards rushing per game, how many Pro Bowls and how many first-team All-Pros you going to miss?
Not many.
1,600 yards, that's what he would average.
Help me out. Until week 8 last year, over Jack's first 3 years, who was his go-to receiver? Who was his one receiver? Nobody. Dez Bryant thought he was.
No, Dez was cut. Michael Gallup.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, over the previous 2 years, it was supposed to be Dez. They had no rapport, no trust, no connection. It was a disaster because Dez hit the physical wall, and he was a shell of himself. Amari came and life changed. That's why I'm picking this team, because the team I saw down the stretch last year is going to be the best team in the NFC this year. So the point is, I always trust Jerry Jones on salary cap issues. He loves Zeke as much as you are trying to love Zeke just because you hate the Cowboys.
No, I love Zeke. But Skip, why do you think they can't play coverage on Amari? Because you got to drop the 8th guy down in the box to stop Zeke.
Okay, well, watch how long that lasts this year, because Michael Gallup will emerge. And all of a sudden, we got Randall Cobb in the slot, who's a little bit of an upgrade over Cole Beasley. And all of a sudden, footballs are going to be flying all around, and it's going to open up rush lanes.
Will you stop it with this is Michael Gallup. The only Gallup I know famous is the pole.
He's going to be galloping past
candidate
safeties
progress
this
in the
year.
presidency.
Galloping past safeties on deep balls. He's going to be a deep threat.
Now, if you said if they had Julio, I'm like, okay, yeah. Or they got AB, they got Mike Evans, or Odell. I'm like,
Don't forget little Tavon, too. Tavon's still there.
They
He can run
ain't
behind.
ain't heard from Tavon in 3 years.
Tavon is a gadget.
We heard from him a couple times
Skip,
last year.
he's a gadget guy. Will you stop this?
He caught a couple of deep balls.
He's like one of
They don't use him.
Hey,
They literally
and
don't use him.
wait a second, in the playoff win over Seattle, he was returning punts like a demon.
Skip.
He looked almost like a Reggie Bush.
Skip, he's a gadget guy. He's one of these guys. You know one of these hats when you go to the stadium and they got the hat on and you got beer on both sides. That's what he is. He's a gadget. He's
that
nice.
guy?
He's cute.
Right, come on, he ain't that. Come on now.
That's what he is.
That was just
He's a
disrespectful.
fancy little gadget. to
Skip,
have.
think about it. Sean McVay could come up with schemes and get everybody involved. Sean McVay couldn't get him involved. He goes to Dallas and Tavon, we got Tavon. Skip, how long before you give up?
Give up.
He's not gonna be giving
I got a new coordinator. I got Kellen Moore.
You've been
High IQ.
back and forth on him. But